I published a paper some years ago in which I kind of compressed uh, the bare basics of a kind of a Stoic methodology. I can give this to you pretty quickly. I'm going to have to oversimplify it a bit, but it's called the I.D.E.A method, the IDEA method. And I refers to, well, the I stands for identify the real issue. And always remember, the real issue is not outside of you. It's not the fact that you don't have that much money in your bank account or you got a conflict at work. The real issue is your emotional and psychological mismanagement of whatever the external condition is. You're allowing yourself to be unbalanced by it. D tells you to distinguish very carefully between what you can control and what you cannot control. Don't obsess on what you can't control. Focus all of your mental energy, all of your resources on what you can control, and that's just your will. It's just your ability to deliberate and choose. E refers to exert effort, mental effort, where it can be effective, which is on oneself. I can't make you do or believe anything. I can't change the economy. I can't change an election, but I can change myself so as to adapt and remain serene and rational, whatever life throws at me. And then A stands for accept the rest. Accept the externals. There's a Nietzschean phrase, Amor, fati, which I'll start today, which means love of fate. Learn to love the fact, not just accept in the sense of shrugging, but learn to embrace the fact that you are here in a world that is anthropic, a world that allows for human life, which is wildly improbable. Now, whether it's because the world was designed by some intelligence or whether it's there's a multiverse, an infinite number of universes, forget that. Here you are. And we are all very fortunate that we get to breathe in and out, and we get to have conversations like this, and we get to try things like writing books or getting an education. Embrace that and be grateful for the fact that you have an opportunity to draw breath and live a human life. If you do that, you're going to be, for the most part, you're going to be okay.
Thank you. Just one clarification on the exerting effort, the E part. You mentioned that that's mostly focused on ourselves and how we're perceiving and strengthening ourselves. But that does that mean that we would never try to influence another?
You can set an example for another. You can advise others. There are all sorts of methods. You could threaten others. But what you should not do, and what it's irrational to do, is to insist that they conform to the dictates or to the advice that you have set out before them. I can encourage you to learn more about Stoicism. I cannot compel you to do so. And if I were to insist, no, no, this person must learn more about Stoicism or I cannot be content, that's where I've become irrational. If I ask my stepson or my stepdaughter to do something and they refuse to do it, and if I order them to do it and they refuse to do it, right, there are still rational methods of dealing with that kind of reluctance, that kind of recalcitrance. If you think, well, she made me angry, she made me frustrated, he made me lose my temper, now you've just become irrational. No one can make you adopt any mental state. You can be insufficiently self-disciplined so that you slip into one of those negative mental states, but don't go blaming the world on it. Blame your own failure of self-discipline.
Beautifully said. Thank you so much. We have been speaking with William Ferriolo. The name of the book is Meditations on Self Discipline and Failure, Stoic Exercise for Mental Fitness. I would encourage you to pick up a copy if any of this conversation has resonated with you. And I want to thank you so much for investing your time in this hour to learn more about Stoicism. And thank you to William for being with us as well. I want to send you lots of love. Be well. Namaste.